It's time to roll the credits with Chris and Wayne. Good evening, I am Wayne Pyle with Roll the Credits with Chris and Wayne, and we are here to bring you another entertaining interview with the many folks who make film and television.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm Chris Ty, and Roll the Credits with Chris and Wayne is the official video podcast of the Hunter Mountain Film Festival, which is online again this year from October 22nd through the 24th. And for more information, please check us out at huntermountainfilmfestival.com.
Hey, Chris, did you ever do any acting when you were a young person?
Well, Wayne, I'm not nearly as adventurous or courageous as some of our young talent today. But, when you asked me this question, I think back to this time back in I think it was fourth grade when we were assigned to come up with some kind of skit for class. And of course, like the procrastinator I am, I waited till only minutes before to come up with something. And I didn't realize it at the time, but it would be my first ever improv skit. And while I was absolutely dying inside and thinking, I'm making a fool of myself, these people, they know I'm a fraud, I actually pulled it off.
Oh, wow.
And I would learn later in improv classes that I took as an adult that you'll have the audience with you because they're just amazed that you're even standing up there without a script, no matter what you're doing. I wish I knew that at the time. I would have been more relaxed. And it wasn't until my senior year of college that I would perform again and go working at Disney World.
Oh, great. Wow. Disney World. That's really
Big
cool.
gap in time there. Yeah.
Well, when I was young, my parents actually got me on television. I was only 4 years old, and I got to do a show called The Romper Room.
Did the Romper Room?
I did The Romper Room, yeah. And there were affiliates all over the country, and ours was in Philadelphia. And I still have really strong memories of the show. We had to wake up at 4 a.m. to get into Philly on time, and it was a 3-camera show. Back then, there were no LEDs. That didn't exist yet. So it was these really hot, bright lights that were shining down on us. And I remember just loving it. I still have really strong memories. And one of the strongest memories I have is that we used to do this song. It was like, everybody go to sleep, everybody nap time, that kind of thing. And I remember thinking at 4 years old that if I pretended to fall asleep on camera, that all the cameras would start to come to me as they're singing the sleepy time song. So sure enough, I pretended to fall asleep. And when the show was over, my parents were like, oh, it's so cute. You fell asleep while they were singing the song and the cameras went to you. For years and years and years, I never told them that I had faked it. And then one day Heidi was like, hey, remember that time you were on Romper Room and you faked it? You fell asleep. And I was like, I never told anybody. So Heidi spilled my story about pretending to fall asleep on the Romper Room. So that's my experience.
Okay, cool. We're both frauds.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Wayne, our special guests tonight are two very talented actors who are still quite young. Speaking of young acting, Anastasia Veronica Lee is the bright and charming actress who has appeared in King Cobra, Driveways, The Dead Don't Die, Lizzie's Story TV miniseries, and most recently as Sick as They Made Us, where she played young Abigail. She was the younger version of Dianna Agron, who is probably best known from Glee. Anastasia loves sports, the outdoors, and Wayne, horror films.
Yes, I actually knew that already. And the charismatic and full of energy Oliver Patnode has appeared in The Dead Don't Die, the TV miniseries The Plot Against America, and I Know This Much Is True, and most recently as Sick as They Made Us, where he played young Nathan. He was the younger version of Simon Helberg, who's probably best known from Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Oliver loves anything snow related. He does funny accents, and I happen to know he does them very well. He creates comics, he makes videos, and plays outdoors with his friends and his puppy.
So let's give a warm roll the credits with Chris and Wayne. Welcome to Anastasia Lee and Oliver Patnode and their moms, Zoe Hunter Lee and Kimberly Andresen. Yay!
Yay! Welcome to the show. Hi. Hey, guys. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. Yes, we're doing well. Thanks. We're so glad that you're here with us tonight on Roll the Credits with Chris and Wayne. So we're going to jump right into it and start asking you guys some questions. So tell us, Oliver and Anastasia, first, the big question is, why do you like to act? And second, what would be your dream job as an actor? Anastasia, why don't you go first?
I love to act because I can always be myself and at the same time explore other people and what they act like. And also my dream job would probably be in like a horror film or something like that, something scary.
Nice. And who would you play in the horror film? Would you be the evil person, or would you be somebody running away?
I would definitely be the evil person.
Nice. Oliver, how about you?
Well, first off, I love to act because I can be someone else that I'm not, because I can be like a bully or something.
Nice.
And then people just come up to me and you're like, "You're so mean." And I'm just like, "No, I'm not." And my dream job as an actor would probably to be in like a comedy, like Adam Sandler or something like that.
Nice.
And I also would like to be in like a sad drama or something like that too.
Oh, interesting.
Or maybe
Okay.
even a mystery.
Oh, okay, great. Those are a lot of great things to shoot for.
One of the best compliments you can get as an actor if you play a bad guy is someone to hate you after the show, right?
That's right. That's right.
Well, what was the first part you played or remember playing? Oliver, why don't you go first on that one?
Well, the first part I played was a little role. I was in a movie called Furlough. I was just a little boy. I was like super young. I don't know how young I was, except I walked down a street. And I actually got to do it with my mom.
Oh,
and we were walking down the street, and there was a lady in handcuffs. I forgot what her name was.
Melissa Leo.
Oh, yeah.
She was walking down the street in handcuffs and all that. And I had to go, "Mommy, look, there's a lady in handcuffs."
Nice.
And then
nice.
my mom just pulled me to the side, like, "Stay away from her." And that was a little fun role.
Excellent.
And Anastasia, what about you?
Well, I played in this really, I think it was a short film. Was it a movie or a short film? It was a student film, short film. Yeah, it was a student short film, and I was like 4, I think. And I was playing with my dolls in a dollhouse while my parents were fighting in the background.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm sure other kids and parents are curious about this, because we do get questions like this all the time. How do you both handle school work when you're on set? And either of you can answer. Have you had that situation where you've had to do school while you've been on set?
Well, I have, and it's actually pretty easy. I love all the school teachers and stuff like that. And the work's pretty fun.
Well, great. And how does it work? Do they make you like sit down for a certain number of hours, or is it just worksheets? What kind of happens?
Well, usually they have you like do worksheets, and well, I was online school last year.
Oh, okay.
So I was going on my Chromebook, and they would have me sit down for like an hour or something like that.
Okay, great.
And go ahead. Yeah, Oliver.
Of course, I probably don't have as much experience as Anna, except I do love working online, because I remember that last year was fully online, so it didn't really matter, because even though we were working on set, we still got to go on every once in a while, go on our computers and just like look at this look at our teachers and our setup and check in and all that. Except the only experience I have with acting and having to do school was last year in A Sick as They Made Us.
Oh, okay.
It was really fun because we had an amazing tutor, and he was super nice, and we sat in the hotel lobby. And I remember one time me and Anna we got bored after we finished school, so and she had to do a gym activity. So after we were done with that, we got 2 little cups and we put them next to each other. And we rolled up a little piece of paper and we started kicking it around like soccer. And
we were playing paper cup soccer.
Awesome. That's really great. That's really great.
Gym class in the hotel lobby.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Paper cup soccer. I'm going to try that, actually. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, actually, talking about As Sick as They Made Us, tell us about your roles on that film.
Go ahead, Anastasia. Yeah.
My role was really, really exciting. I loved playing with Oliver because he was the best brother ever.
Awesome. And who were you, and what was her story like? What was her story like?
Well, her story was, I got punched in the face.
Whoa.
And yeah, and my father was he was kind of, I don't know, wasn't the greatest father, but Dustin Hoffman, I loved him. He was very funny.
So that was your father, Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just your dad. Now, Dustin Hoffman didn't punch you in the face, I hope.
No.
Okay, good. Did you have a stunt person or did you do the stunt yourself?
I think I did a stunt myself from what I can remember.
Okay,
But
awesome. And was
They
it
had a
hard?
stunt
Were you
person.
scared? Yeah, they had a stunt person sort of teach you how to do it, or
yeah.
wow, that's really cool.
I was kind of nervous that I would actually get punched, but I didn't.
Okay, good. That's good to hear. I'm glad. I'm glad that our young actors aren't getting punched on set. That's a good thing to hear. Oliver, how about you? Tell us a little bit about your character and what you did.
Well, my character is the protective big brother. I don't think he's super protective. He's more of like the, oh my God, normal sister God.
Right.
It's also really fun because I've always wanted to be like a brother or have a sibling. I'm an only child, except I always wanted to have a sibling. So it's fun to be on set and actually get a sibling, especially it being Anna. And it was really fun, actually. My character, I feel like there's a deeper meaning to him. There's something behind him, and it's also really cool being Simon, the younger version of Simon.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you next. So why don't you stick with that? What was it like trying to portray another actor as their younger self? Did you watch Simon, or did he watch you to copy like your movements, or did you watch him to copy his movements or the way he spoke?
Oh, well, it was more of Mayim asked me to she sent me a few videos, and I just had to constantly watch his hand movements, and I had to get his hand movements, and he had like big, like, oh my God, like big hands, and
big hand. Yeah, that's really cool though, and you really do. Yeah, you really do favor him. So yeah, that's really cool that she sent you. So she sent you some videos of him. Now, were they videos of him on other shows, or was it things that he was doing for this film that you were watching?
One of them was this show where he's playing a British man, and he was just like, and then
now, can you give me a good accent, a good British accent? Because I know you're good at it. Let me hear it.
I'm gonna try and break in the one right now. I don't know.
Okay, or whatever, or a funny accent, your favorite one that you like.
Usually has to hear them and then he can repeat.
Oh,
them.
I see. Well, what if I talk like this? Can you copy me if I do this?
I can copy you if you do that.
I thought so. Yeah, very good. Very good. Nicely done.
My mom is sitting right here and she can do a good one too.
I love it. Anastasia, how about you? What was it like?
Well, playing young Dianna Agron was really, really fun. She was really nice to me.
Yeah. And did you have to like sort of look at her and watch her, or how did you prepare for your role?
Well, I prepared for my role by I was watching her, kind of like how she was moving and like all her body movements and stuff like that. And I kind of just learned from that and did it in the role.
Very nice. Do you remember something that was specific about the way she moved that you had to copy?
Well, I think that she was like cracking her knuckles a lot. I don't clearly remember, but
yeah, that's interesting. No, I'm fascinated by this stuff. It's really fun to think about, and to, that you had the opportunity to do that is really, really cool.
Yeah, it was really exciting.
And I'm curious to know what it's like for each of you to work with celebrities like Dianna Agron, Simon Helberg, Dustin Hoffman. Wow, Candace Bergen. Mayim Bialik. How do you Bialik?
Chris got stuck there on that Mayim Bialik. Yes.
Bialik.
Well, what I'm curious about, did you know they were celebrities already, or were they just like, oh, that's that old guy that I worked with?
I knew who Simon Helberg was because I seen him in The Big Bang Theory.
Right.
Except on the first day of set when we were going in for costume designing, Anna, you might remember this. Except I sat down next to Candace Bergen. I didn't even know who she was. I was just
right. Yeah, well, that's what I would imagine. I mean, she's from a different generation.
My mom was like eyeing me down, and I'm just like, what?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I sat down next to, I also didn't know it's Simon because he had a little mustache.
Oh, right.
And he had long hair, so I was kind of like, can't be him.
Right.
That's so fun.
And all that, and I just sat next to the three of them, and I was just like, wait, Mom, is that them?
Right.
No problem. He just sits down at a table and starts talking to whomever.
Yeah, no
great.
big deal.
Yeah,
No big deal.
yeah, great. How about you, Anastasia? What was your experience like with that?
Well, Dustin Hoffman was really, really funny. I loved him so much. And Candace Bergen was really nice.
Aw.
And I loved Mayim. She was literally the best director ever. I loved her.
That's good to
Oh.
hear. That's really good to hear.
Hey, you had one part of the whole Big Bang Theory there on set.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's really cool too.
There was also this we thought like Dustin was gonna be like, I mean, Dustin Hoffman. We thought he was gonna be like down to work and all that, and we didn't know what he was gonna be like. Except the first thing he came up to us and he was just like fist bump, and he was like, "Oh, you know what a woogie is," or something like that. Right. And we were just like,
he was really silly.
Great. That's so great to hear.
Was
So what would either of you say was the most challenging part of any shoot? I mean, you can use As Sick as They Made Us or anything. Is there like something that either of you find particularly challenging?
Yeah, I would say probably the scene where we were lying down in the sleeping bags at the actually the scene before that where the mom our mom was dropping us off at friend's house, and I had to like pull on her to try and keep her with me, and it was just a really hard scene to do.
Yeah. Now, was it the physical part of it that was hard, or more of the emotional part of it?
Probably more the emotional part.
Yeah. Those can be tough. How about you, Oliver?
Well, I have two, except the first one relates to Anna's. Well, when we were at this house at night and all that, I don't know if it was about the emotional part. I think I like the emotional part. I did it really well, except it was really the behind the scenes where I couldn't stop giggling.
Oh,
yes. We were sitting in our sleeping bags, just sitting here trying to do an emotional, and Anna was trying to cry or whatever, and I'm just sitting here like this, going.
Right. Yeah, those times when you get the giggles. That's happened to me. I actually got yelled at one time. We were doing this. It was actually a really funny scene, and we're doing this thing, and the woman is improvising and doing all this crazy funny stuff, and we both started cracking up. You just hear the director go, focus, don't laugh no matter what you do. And the tension of not laughing actually, I think, added to the scene, because it was so funny. But yeah, that's really hard when you start to get the giggles and it's supposed to be something really serious.
Well, speaking of which, can you tell us something funny or a funny story that you remember that happened on set?
Yes. Okay. So mine was the sleeping bag scene. That was scene right after we were in the hallway, and the reason that it was so hard was because it was a really emotional scene, but I could not stop laughing. Me, Oliver, and we were all in the sleeping bags, and we were trying not to laugh, and mine was like, focus, please.
Oh yeah. There you go. See that? Yeah. Focus, please.
We felt so bad. We were just like, I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing.
Yeah. Was it at night? Was it an overnight, or was it starting to get late? Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
And you've been in a room for hours. You have no idea what actual time it is. You start to get a little punchy. Yeah,
I was going to say the term is punchy for sure.
How about you, Oliver? Do you have another funny story from?
I definitely have a funny story. I probably told half of them already.
You have told a lot already, but we like to ask, for the gems.
Yeah. We were shooting this hallway scene where Anna gets slapped.
Yeah.
And I kept on laughing as I ran away because I had to run down a hallway. Oh, and wow. I just kept on looking back and laughing, seeing the fake slap.
And
Anna go.
Nice.
And I kept as that happened. There's this carpet. I have to run into this door and slam it.
Right.
And there's this carpet with sandbags next to it. And I keep on tripping on the carpet and banging my head on the
ow.
And I keep on doing it over and over again. And I just keep on looking back after making the sound, and I just see like Anna like
doing her thing with she just gotten slapped. Oh my goodness.
And then I can't stop laughing.
So I'm curious
I don't know if it was like telekinesis.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I don't know if it's telekinesis, except one scene when you were doing this, Hannah, you started just laughing as I went into the other room and started laughing.
So who was slapping you? Now that we've talked about this, we need to know, like, what was happening in the scene that you got slapped?
Remember
Well,
his name.
it was Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, it was. Wow.
And so basically we were playing tag, I think, Oliver. Like we were running back and forth through the hallway. And we were playing what was it?
Horse tag, pushing tag.
Oh, pushing tag. Okay.
We were
Yikes.
like playing horseplay and we were running back and forth. And then Dustin Hoffman came out of one of the rooms and told us that we were being too loud. He had already told us not to be loud. And then he went,
whoa. That's intense.
I don't think that was Dustin.
Yeah.
That wasn't. There was a
Giving away secrets.
Yeah. I guess we shouldn't give away too many. Yeah, we shouldn't give away too many.
It was
right?
a photo devil. Remember Ira?
Right. But still, that's intense.
Yeah.
I would put that on my resume. Just got slapped by Dustin Hoffman. I would just want that. I wouldn't even need to know the name of the film, the role. Just slapped by Dustin Hoffman. I would put that on there.
As I was ducking and running, he yelled. Yeah. And it just went straight into my ear because I was like ducking right under him. His head was right here, and it was like behind me. And he's just like, "What is?" And I'm just like,
"Okay."
Yeah. That's that full on commitment that you'll get from those guys. That's great. Thanks for sharing those stories with us.
That's awesome.
So let me ask you this then. What are your plans for the future? Like, if you weren't going to be an actor, what other job might you like to do? Anybody can go first. Whoever wants to answer that one.
When I'm older, I'm probably going to study psychology in like college or high school or whatever. And because I want
maybe medical school.
I want to be a therapist and I want to help people.
Great.
Especially Dustin Hoffman, right?
Yeah. Try to get him to stop hitting kids, right? How about you, Oliver?
I've had a lot of dreams over the years. When I was in second grade, I was obsessed with firefighters. Except at the moment, I'm really into astronaut. I forgot how I want to be an astronomer. Astronomer.
Yes. You're thinking of astronaut. That's why you're saying it that way. Yeah, but astronomer. Yeah, cool. Very
Did
cool.
I screw you up trying to say Mayim Bialik?
We got to get Chris to say her name right before the end of the episode here.
I think I got it. I was just teasing. But.
Yeah, there you go. Well, speaking of, let me just share this before we go on to the next question. Speaking of, having to do strange things with celebrities. So you guys know Willoughby, my son, who's also an actor, and at one point he was on the set with Jim Gaffigan. And it was during the pandemic, and I found myself saying the most pandemic thing that I've ever heard myself say. He was worried about taking off his mask to hug Jim Gaffigan, and I said to him, "If I can take off my mask to stuff John Leguizamo in a trunk, you can take off your mask to hug Jim Gaffigan." So and he had to give him a big hug, and it was one of those. It's like, my son is hugging Jim Gaffigan. It's a very strange feeling, to have the kids, interacting with these folks that we all grew up watching and admiring. So I just wanted to share that story with you guys. I thought you'd enjoy that. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, I'm just curious, what advice do you guys have for any young actors that are just getting started? Either one of you.
Well, I would say that you should always believe in yourself and never give up. No matter, I know that the role might be really hard, and it's going to be really hard to do some certain roles, but you just need to believe in yourself.
Very nice.
What about you, Oliver? Yeah.
Well, I would definitely say, I'm still becoming an actor, except, well, of course, we're both becoming actors because we're just young, except I would say that don't rush it. Don't take all the don't say, well, I don't want to be in this little role because I want to be in the big famous roles and all that. Except take every single little role, because just even like a little commercial or something, you got to climb the scale, climb it. And you can't just speed run a mountain. You can't just run up a mountain. It takes time to get up it. You can't just, and believe in yourself, because it's not that bad when you think about it. It's
great.
Wayne, I
great
think
advice, Oliver.
That advice is actually good for adults as well.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thanks for sharing that, you two. That's awesome. Okay, moms, You're in the hot seat now. So tell us, what's a typical audition day like for you and your children? I'm very curious to know what the, Kim, if you want to go, that's fine. Or
it's like this.
Yeah. I just wanted to check to see if it's kind of the same over here as it is with you guys.
No,
That's really why I'm asking.
A lot of energy. As you can see, it's hard to wrangle him and get him to focus. So if you're dealing with a child like Oliver, it is hard. He gets audition requests, and we have a deal where when he gets to the point where he doesn't want to do auditions, we're going to pull him, because my background is actually theater, not film. And I did casting for many, many years, and I worked with a lot of moms who pushed their children into it. And my whole deal is, when he doesn't want to do it, we're not doing it, because I'm never going to be a mom that pushes somebody into something that they don't want to do, because that's just miserable.
Yeah,
so
I could see that.
But I also have respect for the casting directors, and they put effort into looking at auditions, right? So if you put your info out there and you get the request and you've made that casting director look at your stuff, then you owe it to them to do the audition. So if we get the audition, we do them, right? So we do a rehearsal of it, we learn the lines, we sit down, and we're not really good at, I'm not gonna lie, we're not really good at recorded auditions, because Oliver does not like to audition with me. It's hard for him to audition with his mom. He does great one-on-one. He's a much better talking to anybody besides me. He'll talk a mile a minute to anybody else, but as soon as it's with me, it's a little tougher. And he, like, in person with the director, he's much better.
I completely understand. Zoe, how about you? Is it similar, or what would you say?
For me, my answer would be that there's no such thing as a typical audition. Every audition wants something different. We've noticed thematic auditions. This past week, she had a couple where she had to die on camera.
Oh, wow.
And so that's a tough thing for a young person, and also for parents to direct or coach through. So you just kind of, you take it, beat by beat, and also and make sure that she's okay while we're shooting it, and more, we try to make it fun more than serious.
Yeah, great.
But not funny.
Right.
We take it seriously.
Now die in a funny way for us here.
This is a gunshot shoot. but to take it moment by moment and make sure that it's realistic and that she's comfortable in the moment.
Great. Just keep the truth in it. Yeah.
But there's no typical, like, sometimes we've had really short auditions where it was like one little paragraph. We've had like 10 pages that were due in like 5 hours.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything in
hang in there,
between,
Chris. So Chris and I, we'll just give you a little background. Chris and I both have to audition for 2 different roles, 2 different projects. We both have to prepare our priest, our generic,
we're both auditioning for a priest, 2 different roles.
For a priest from 2 different places. Yeah. So we're both in the midst of that right now too. So but like you say, there's no real typical thing that comes across. One day I'm playing a priest, the next day I'm playing the opposite. Right. So it can be very interesting.
Well, I was curious, what made each of you decide to allow your children to act in film and TV? Was it something you just, it was always part of what you wanted to do, or was it that what they wanted to do, or how did it all develop?
He was born into it.
Yeah. Well,
that's true.
he was born into it. I've been doing theater since I was in college, and Oliver literally was in my belly while I was pregnant. I was on stage with him. I was a stage actor for years.
Do you remember the show?
I was trying to think of that before this, and I couldn't. I thought it was almost Maine, but it might have been Mr. A's Amazing Maze Place. I honestly couldn't remember.
Sure.
I do know I did I do a 2-week cable talk show every summer for the Lake Placid horse shows, and I do have video of me 8.5 months pregnant. I was absolutely gigantic, sitting in 90-degree heat.
Oh,
Yep.
Wow.
So
wow.
I do have that footage. And then every year after that, he was in a baby. Yep. Like with, you know, until he got old enough to pull the microphone out of our hands. And he was backstage with us until he was, you know, running around on stage during live plays. And then we had to kind of stop that. So he kind of just was born into it. We didn't start film until we moved downstate, and down here film is obviously much, it's the thing down here. So kind of a totally new, different thing for me. But I didn't think he'd ever show an interest in it. And when he did, I was like, okay, yeah, you can absolutely show an interest. And then of course we met, Oliver met Willoughby at an after school program, and that kind of was a fun little thing.
I remember how we met. We were just sitting making little paper things. We made a little paper phone. It didn't even look like a phone. We just drew around it.
Right.
So we met a film friend in that, and then he met Anna in a play, and it was a kind of a fun thing. But yeah, so I think if you show an interest, absolutely. But as soon as your child doesn't show an interest, it's not something to put them into.
Gotcha. Yeah. How about you, Zoe?
Anna was also born into it. My husband Duncan and I were both theater actors. I started acting when I was 4, and I joined Actors Equity at 16 to do some New York stage and film plays.
Great.
And pretty much spent my entire childhood training to go to school for musical theater. And I got lucky, and I did voiceover as well, and found myself with child while I was contracted to do a horror movie.
Wait a minute.
Also shot with her in, I think I was 5 months pregnant, and it was a German horror movie, and they put me in a corset. And it was her first IMDb credit.
Nice.
They thought it was funny to give her credit in the womb.
Oh, they did. They did. Oh, that's amazing. And
so
now
on her page it says thanks, and it has her name.
Oh, that's really cool.
And then I hadn't intended to put my children in it, and actually I didn't want them to do it because I think it's a lot of pressure. But then I met Heidi, and she asked me if Anna would be interested in doing some student films at Vassar, and she blew me away.
Yeah, she was great.
Just raw, just blew me away. I had no idea she could do that. And then she kind of was the go-to little blonde kid when she was little to do some films all around the Hudson Valley. And we got to a point where she was starting to get lines, and we had to join SAG. And I said, this is it. We either stop and we just do non-union work when we get it, or we pursue this career and get representation and really do it. And so it was up to her. She chose to keep going, and we are where we are.
Yay.
Same though. I mean, I think if she's not finding pleasure and she's not passionate and she doesn't love it, then I don't want her to do it either, because I think you can tell when a child's on set and they're not happy.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And we tried to do the same thing with Willoughby as well. When he's done, he's going to be done. And that's it. And we'll see what happens. It's quite a journey ahead of us. Now, on this journey, what has been, I always like to ask, like, what's been the most challenging having a child actor in the house, but then also what's been the most rewarding part? So sort of like, can you sort of just talk about both sides? What do you think? What's been the most challenging part of having, I mean, I know for us, the challenging part is like the auditions come through, and then you have to figure out how to get them going and how to get the lines memorized and how to get it shot and all of that stuff. That's been pretty challenging for us.
Yeah.
But the rewards, go ahead.
It's the scheduling, because now that we have someone else kind of in control of her auditions and everything is self-taping, sometimes we get it with last minute, and her representatives, her reps don't really know what's going on at home. They don't know, like, we have soccer from 6 to 8 and she's got an hour of homework and a test the next day. Like, they don't care. Here's your script, and we need it tomorrow, and it needs to be perfect, and it needs to be off book, and no fooling around. So I think the hardest part is balancing being a kid, doing normal kid things, and also being very professional and giving it 100%, showing up each time on the tape because nothing's back in person yet, and but also letting her like be a kid and see her friends and do normal, like have sleepovers and go to events on the weekend. So
Similar, Kim, or do you find something else more challenging?
Yeah, no, I think I totally agree with that. It's like the difference, it's being a mom and also being in charge of, like he just got a 5-page audition that's due on Friday. It came in like an hour before this. It's a great role, but it's due on Friday. He has this tonight. He has school tomorrow. He has school on Friday, and he's going to his dad's on Friday afternoon. So when do when do we get that done? He can turn it in, but he's not going to have it memorized. So he has to fight with me. Like we do the whole, like that's doing it with mom as opposed to doing it with the scene partner. So it's a challenge.
I remember when me and Anna first I remember we only met each other a few times, like at Willoughby's birthday party or something like that, or during the play and all that. Except when we first got each other's numbers and all that, and we sat down and called each other, we didn't even know what to do at first. And when we started doing the lines, it just flowed. I'm just like, how is this so easy? I did it with my mom, and it was just it was a horror movie.
Oh wow, that's great. That's great.
You need Anna for that.
That's right.
Yeah. So being a mom and being the mom's a challenge. But then again, it's amazing when things do come together.
Yeah. So talk a little bit of what are the rewards? Like what, I think, having the kids involved, even if they never pursue it when they become adults, I think just the challenges of bringing a story to life, authenticity, telling the truth in the moment, being in front of a camera, having to interact with a bunch of different types of people. I think that can be really great for
the experience, absolutely the experience. Just going places, as sick as they made us. I know this much is true. Just the places we've been, the people we've met, the directors, the actors, backstage crew, everything from costume design to makeup, everything that they're learning, seeing all the different jobs even, and the different things that they can do, and that not everything. Oliver doesn't necessarily love school, like traditional school. Hold on. He doesn't necessarily love traditional school. And even if you don't make it as an actor per se, there's so many different jobs that you can do. And I think the crews we've worked with so far are amazing. They're happy to let him come backstage and see what they're doing, or, come back on the set and check out things. It's really cool, the experiences that they're getting.
Very cool. Very cool. How about you, Zoe?
For me, the positives are definitely traveling. We got really lucky, and Anna worked on a film this summer where we were away shooting at the beach for a month.
Oh, great.
And we got to see some of the most beautiful beaches all over Massachusetts and Rhode Island.
Wow.
And she had a couple of best friends in the movie who became really best friends to her. And she just connected really well. It was a very female dominated set, including the director, the writer, the camera woman. Like most of the main positions, all the producers were female.
Great.
It was such a safe space, that it was such a positive environment for her to see strong women kind of taking control and making this piece of art, and also getting to travel and spend some quality time with people who are from all different backgrounds, all different lifestyles, very talented, artistic, and it's just, for me, it broadens their mind and broadens who they are as human beings. It allows them to experience people and places that they may not get to just being non-actors.
Yeah, and other ways of being, like Oliver was saying, you get to be a bully sometimes if you know. Hopefully you're not a bully in real life, but you get to experience what that's about and what that's like and how that can be harmful to people, and you get to be part of that story, sharing that with others. So yeah, I find that part of it very rewarding myself when I get to do those things.
Well, earlier I asked the kids what they would give it, what advice they'd give to other actors. So moms, what advice would you give to other parents whose children are into acting?
If your child wants to act, try it. Look for local casting calls and let them try background. Let them see if, try the roles. Background might not pay anything. It might pay minimum. It's not about the money. It's about the experience. And I think that's what a lot of people get caught up in, is the money to begin with. To me, it's never been about the money. I started out in theater, which back in the day paid nothing.
There's still no money.
No, it's not. It's about the experience.
That's right. Yeah.
Try it. Try everything. I just think, Oliver has to say something. What do you have to say, Oliver? He's hitting me.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that acting isn't also another road to an activity. It's not just about being famous or like getting the money, just like my mom said, except I don't do a lot of school activities. I can't do a lot of sports or anything.
Right.
And I'm terrified of some sports, and acting is something that I get to do and that many other people in like my class get to do it. And it's my thing. And it's something that you can do as like, it's because I don't do a lot of after school sports, as I said, or anything like that. Except I can do acting and stuff like that.
Nice. Thanks, Oliver. Yeah,
try it. Cool. And, go look at the casting calls, look, there's so many groups on Facebook, there's Backstage Magazine, there's all kinds of places where you can find this out. Of course, like Hudson Valley Casting, our favorite. But look for the calls. And the other thing I have to say, which I always tell everybody, be nice. Be nice to absolutely everybody.
We had another person say that on one of the interviews as well. So thank you for saying that again.
It's so important because I see so many people come in and I see so many people go to casting calls and they're just, they get mad because they have to wait in line.
Yeah.
They're not nice to the people who are checking them in, or they're not nice to the people in line. And I have to tell you, working backstage for a million years, on the other side of the casting process, every single person counts, and you don't know who you're talking to. You could be talking to the director.
That's right.
Everybody knows everybody. It's a small industry.
Yeah.
It's a very small industry.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. Zoe, how about you? What would you offer up?
I agree with that. It's very small because you look how we intersected here with this. I would say be realistic with the lifestyle choices because it does take a lot of time. It's very time consuming before you see any results. You can send out 50 tapes before you may get a call back or be put on hold or pinned. And I think, people expect it to just be kind of instantaneous. Oh, my daughter's gorgeous, or my baby's so cute, or my toddler is funny. But there's so many elements that make that allow children to find success. And I don't think it's for everyone. You have to be realistic about the expectations that you put forth for your child, and sometimes it's great to do community theater or, like you said, extra work, commercials, local commercials, whatever it takes just to get them out there to make sure they like it, because it's long hours. It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
You have to stay fresh. You have to stay, patient, and it's definitely an adult world for children.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for
that. You have to have a thick skin.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of rejection.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Yeah. And I think that helps as well. I mean, it builds up that confidence in like, this was my attempt. This is what I threw out there. Take it or not, I'm on to the next one, and that helps, I think, with a lot of things in life to be able to have that attitude. So.
I have such big calluses from rejection. Wayne, go ahead, reject me. I can take it. Go ahead. Give me your best shot.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's part of the process of learning and growing.
It is.
But so Anna and Oliver, anything else you want to share before we go for tonight?
Make sure you watch the movie.
Yes.
I think it's going to be amazing.
Watch it.
I think so too. Yeah. It sounds like it's going to be great. Well,
it sounds like more than one movie.
Yes, more than one to watch for sure. Oliver, Anastasia, Zoe, Kim, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. If people want to find out more about these young actors, do they have websites or social media? We like to put the links on the video here. Is there some place that we can find them to find out more about them?
Yeah.
IMBD and Google.
Well,
I heard, don't you have a TikTok or something like that, Oliver? I thought I saw you doing some videos. Instagram. Okay. So can we put up?
You can find me at Just Oliver.
Okay. At Just Oliver. Is that okay, Mom, to put that up?
Sure.
Okay, great. And Zoe, how about you guys?
Yes.
Anastasia also has Instagram. It's Anastasia Veronica Lee. It's just her name.
Okay, great.
And she's on IMDb as well.
Okay, great.
So that's really the main sources that we use.
Okay, perfect.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
And well, for those of you watching, don't forget to check out all the other great content we have this year at the 2021 Hunter Mountain Film Festival. Again, running from October 22nd through the 24th at huntermountainfilmfestival.com.
That is where you find us online. Well, that's our show for today. We're so glad that you've joined us and that you're part of our film and TV community. If you like what you see here, please share it with others. Stay safe out there, folks. Be well and keep telling those stories. Hey, Chris, I think it's that time again.
Sure is, Wayne. It's time to
roll the credits. We'll see you next time.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye. Bye.